course, when you browse a summer flea market, value is not only in dollar signs. Finding, say, a character piece for conversation, that's exciting. A throwback item, maybe to childhood memories, that's always cherished. Not to mention that items are just plain useful, or those that offer one-of-a-kind style for your home decor. And just like anything, flea market shopping trends, they come and they go. Jennifer Reed is here to point out 5 new favorites to be on the hunt for this year and this flea market season. It's so great to see you.
Good to see you too.
We were giggling and smiling because Tiffany, our studio coordinator, described this little vignette as a 1950s farmer's market. It feels like we've just stepped back in time.
It totally does. I love it. And I love summer too. So it's a great time to look for vintage and to look for those really awesome vintage finds.
That style shift, though, that I mentioned, what are you seeing happening?
Well, I think there's a few shifts that are happening. I mean, you can see, you can look in magazines, right? And you can see the trends and the shifts. And they have like obviously flea market decor magazines where we see that. But I think, there's definitely some trends that are happening. We're getting away kind of from that shabby chic furniture look and going for more sleek, like mid-century modern. So there's definitely trends that just kind of subtly happen over time, And
even jumping eras, though, to a mid-century modern sort of feel.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, mid-century modern, I'll tell you, that is like really hot. So if you're at a flea market and see some great mid-century modern pieces, snap them up.
Grab them.
That's good.
You've got some categories for us. 5 things, in fact, to look for. First, you're saying vintage blankets right now are hot, hot, hot.
I think they're definitely really hot. And I think that there are things that are, especially in summer, we kind of think of things that we use more in the summertime, and we're looking for those. So I love, and I think they're very trendy right now, vintage blankets. And especially like those old camp blankets, blankets from like New Mexico, or old wool blankets even.
So it's not a quilt, it's a wool texture.
Definitely, definitely. We're not talking like old grandma quilts or yo-yo quilts. We're talking definitely really cool old blankets with great texture. Awesome and interesting designs and great color.
I was going to comment on the color. Those saturated brights are so pretty.
Definitely. And especially like if you get like a nice, and you kind of think of like really awesome vintage blankets like Pendleton blankets. And even if they even still make those, but if you can find like a vintage Pendleton blanket, that's a real score.
My parents have 2 of the Jack Frost.
Oh, wow.
Pendleton blankets hiding in their closet. Yeah, I know. I tell them every day they're hiding treasure.
You need to grab
treasure. I'm going to grab and run one day. All right, vintage bowls. Speaking of color, vintage bowls, add that as well, and that made your list.
Yeah, and I think, especially in summertime, and I brought this like really fun display, great way to display the vintage bowls is when we think in the summer and our gardens are producing, and what a great way to like add pops of color to your house. So get a cool vintage bowl. Go in your garden, pick some awesome things out of your garden, and put together a little vignette. So I think like really old wooden vintage bowls are in. A lot of times people love that French look, like those big French dough bowls. If you can get your hand on one of those, that's
more
a great
wood in texture.
Definitely, the wood and the texture. And so I definitely love that. But I also love like old buckets. I love the old enamel bowls too. And I especially like the white is really fun because you can just put anything in it and see that pop of color.
With how you arrange this. I mean, the vegetables themselves, the color, dripping and spilling all over. But did you affix these or just stack them?
I just stacked them. Like that's not in any way like glued together or anything like that.
Word.
So we just, and so that's the great thing about having the versatility of these pieces, because you can just kind of put this together in a few minutes.
This is amazing. This could be a wedding centerpiece.
Yeah, totally. If that right kind of wedding, it could be so fun. Or a party, like if you were doing like a fun barbecue garden party, you could put that together, in 20 minutes. Just go to your garden, put together a few bowls, and make a centerpiece, right?
What a showstopper. That's amazing. Amazing. All right, bistro tables and chairs. Next on your list.
Yeah, so I think if you can ever find a great bistro table for a good price, pick it up. I think they're so versatile, and I think they've always just kind of been really awesome. I don't think it's necessarily more trendy this year. I think these are like staple pieces that are just popular every year.
Do we worry, Jennifer, about putting these out in the elements, or does that add to the charm when they chip and rust?
Yeah, so I definitely think that adds to the charm when they chip and rust. My mom, not so much. She's like, rust? I don't know about that.
No thanks.
But like pieces like this, like with the metal, you could definitely get a can of spray spray paint, you know, and touch it up every summer if that's what you wanted to do, if that's definitely your style. But you can see they're so versatile. You can put the chairs anywhere. You can use the table as like a little serving table.
Oh, it's like a home decor greeting card.
Totally
saying, welcome, come sit in these, stay a while.
And it's so easy to move, so you can just move it to different places too.
Vintage pottery, very, very cool.
Yes, so vintage pottery, you know, I think if you're a vintage lover, you've heard of like McCoy or Weller, which were popular pottery companies, you know, in the 20s, 30s, 40s.
Now those are new names for me, so do I look at on the bottom, or how do I spot those brands?
So you definitely can look on the bottom. McCoy pots are definitely marked, you know, and you can see not all of pottery is marked, but you can actually look on the internet if you're like that interested in, like, you know, finding out about the old companies. They actually have lots of websites where you can find information.
Because why is it? I'm sure you'll meet me here. When you know the story, you love it more.
Totally.
When you know the history.
Or know where it's come from. But for me, honestly, I just love texture and color. Like I don't necessarily care that it's a McCoy. It doesn't matter that it's McCoy. Exactly.
We just like the teal color.
Yes, exactly.
All right, bottles. This again kind of is a standing, you know, look and an appreciated style, but a great way to show off your summer blooms.
Yeah, and I love it too. For that very reason, like pick some flowers out of your garden. If you have, like, again, wanting to put something really polished together quickly, that's a great way to do it. You can buy bottles, like, obviously that have graphics. I'm always attracted to like really cool graphics that pop out, but even plain beautiful bottles, and you can just like put a centerpiece, you know, together in minutes, right?
Your passion, your enthusiasm is so contagious, and your eye is unmatched, girl. You know what to look for, and she's always helping us look ahead so that we know what to grab when we see it. And you have many of these items that will be for sale at your upcoming market, an evening market.
It is. I'm doing a new market. We're moving it to Provo. It's in the downtown Provo area, kind of in a newly renovated building, old renovated building, called the Bright Building. Old is new, and it's at night, and I think it's the first market that's exclusively at night in Utah. And so you can bring your husband, go on a date night and go to the flea market, but we're gonna have a DJ and food trucks and vendors, and so it's gonna be a real party.
What's the dates?
The dates are July 28th, and we're gonna open at 6 and go to midnight, and then July 29th, we're going from 5 to 10 p.m.
When a DJ meets vintage, you know you have yourself a good time.
Exactly.
Awesome. Jennifer Reed, thank you so much.